Hello, this is Cat's Diamond Painting. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back if you've joined me here before. I'm here today to do something a little bit different that I haven't done on the channel before. I have talked about doing it and some people said they would be interested, so I thought this was a good opportunity to hop on with a quick video just showing you my pen collection. I'm only going to be showing you my custom turned pens today. I do have a couple of others from places like Diamond Art Club and those kind of places. I don't have many, to be honest, and I don't tend to use those because I do really love my custom pens. So I'm just going to take you through these. And the main reason I thought I'd do this today is I have too many, guys. Like, I mean, I don't have loads on the one hand. Some people have bigger collections. On the other hand, I clearly have more than enough. And the bigger point for me is there are quite a few in here that for various reasons I'm not using much anymore, and I would quite like to destash them, get a little bit of money back, and then probably buy more pens. Because I do love getting new ones and trying new shapes and trying new shops if I find ones that seem like they have designs that will suit me. I am a little bit picky because I like quite a thin turn, and a lot of places tend to do more medium to chunky turns. So yeah. Anyone who has watched my small shop showcases closely may also spot that there are a few kind of gaps, if you like, because there are pens that I have tried and unboxed that I no longer have because I've destashed them, because I do that along the way. There's some amazing shops that I have tried pens from and they just didn't suit my hands. So like I had one from House of Rainbows that was gorgeous. It was just too chunky and too long for my hands. Same with the one from Butterfly Effect Wares. They just don't tend to do a slim turn, and I don't find it comfortable having a chunky pen. So I thought I would take you through these, and I'm not going to take ages about it. This isn't going to be a long video, but I'm going to, roughly speaking, take you through them sort of in order of when I found them. And then, yeah, hopefully you'll enjoy this. So this is the very first custom pen that I ever bought. I'm going to have focusing issues, aren't I? My camera's always going to want to focus on what's below. So this is from a shop in the UK called Jay's Hand Turning, and I bought this very soon after starting diamond painting in 2021. I believe it's acrylic, whereas all the others are resin, and it is a sort of, I think, mass-produced blank that they've turned. But I have a soft spot for it because it's my first one. It's not the prettiest, but it is, to this day, one of the most comfortable pens I have for my hands. It's like the perfect length and weight. It's really light and nice. So yeah, I do still use this one quite a lot, actually. So yeah, that is from Jay's Hand Turning Gifts. Or it's something along the lines of that. That is the name of their shop. But I will link all of the shops that I've bought from in the description box below if you want to check them out. UK people, this is a cheap and lightweight option. They do have other blanks and a few other styles. But yeah, when you don't want to pay the shipping charges to get something from outside of the UK, these are a good option because we don't have that many. Although, another one that we do have is Crafted Makes. So these two pens here, whoops. These two pens here are from Crafted Makes on Etsy, and they are a UK-based shop. The owner is called Steve. I only have these two pens now. I did have another one originally, but that one came out a lot bigger and just didn't suit my hand. So the thing with these ones is I pick the blanks, and then rather than go for his blank styles that he had, that people were picking from, I messaged him basically with a picture of this pen and said I would like you to get as close as possible to that because that really suits my hand. So this is the first one I think that I had. I'm just wondering if I've got the lighting right for you to really see it. I'm going to move my light in so that you can hopefully see it better. So yeah, this one is really pretty. It's got like pine cones in. Oh, I'm struggling with that focus. Okay, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to move the rest of the pens out of the way so my camera doesn't keep trying to focus on it. I'll be right back. Okay, hopefully this is a little better. Yes, it is. That is much better. So this is the first one I had, and it's got pine cones in, and it's just really pretty. He makes his own blanks as far as I'm aware, because they're all very unique and different. And I do like natural type blanks where people get things like flowers and pine cones and whatnot and put it in. So yeah, this one's really nice and petite, which suits my small hands, not to have a really long pen to flip around. It maybe doesn't go in quite as much, but it's very, very comfortable in my hand. And then this was the second one I had from him. So again, just similar idea, but a different design. So this one's got lots of flowers and a gorgeous purple effect. And again, it's just really pretty. And really comfortable in my hand. I haven't been using it recently, as you can see by the fact it hasn't got an end on it, but I'm thinking I might get this one out today and have a play around with that one again, because it's ever so pretty. Again, he's in the UK, so if you are from the UK, this is a cheaper option, so go check him out. Next up, I have a selection of pens from Beaux. When I started buying from them, they were just on Etsy, I believe, or maybe I just wasn't aware of the Facebook group. That seems more likely, but there is a Facebook group, and that is where I have got the majority of my pens from, because on the Facebook group, well, Facebook page rather, he does drops. So he used to sometimes put them up with pictures and then it was fastest fingers first. I don't think he does that anymore. He does them by raffle. So he will put up all the pens that he's made, and you will enter for any that you want to buy, and then he'll do a draw to find out who has the right to buy it. And because I like a thin turn, and I think that's less popular than some, I've done quite well over the years at getting a few of them. Now, I only have 5 from him now. I have had a fair few from him in the past that I no longer have because of chunkiness or just not using it that much. So yeah, this is what I'm down to. Okay. So this one, first of all, I think this is one of the pens that really confirmed for me that I like a really thin turn, because this one is super comfortable for me. As you can see, it is really slim and it's very delicate and pretty. I enjoy this one a lot. However, I have not used it for ages. So it's another one that I'm looking at thinking, nah, I don't want to destash it, but I would like to maybe get it in the rotation a little bit more and use it more often, because it is very pretty and very comfy, even though I've somehow got a bit of muck on the side there. Next up, I have this one. So again, very similar in size and weight to the last one. And I just thought this was really funky, you know. I love the bright colours and the contrast with the pink. It's very pretty. But this is one that I haven't used in a while, and I don't find myself particularly drawn to using, so maybe this is one that I'll have to put on the destash pile. It's going to be tough because I do still love all of my pens, but the time is right to make space for a few new ones rather than just adding to the pile. Next up, I have this one, and this one, like, no shade on him. It's you know, I just, sometimes you look at a picture and you think that's gorgeous, and then when it arrives, it doesn't appeal in quite the same way. It's a pretty pen. It's maybe not one of my favorites. I love the pink and the white. I think that's what drew me to it, but then he's got this sort of dried pressed flower in this section, and I think for me the colours maybe just don't work so well, but another person might really enjoy that contrast. And it's also, again, really, really lightweight and small. So I'm trying to remember to keep you in frame now. I've brought the camera into such a close point, but yeah, it's a lovely pen for someone who wants a thin turn, just not one I reach for that often. Next up, this one, again, very cool, very kind of, I don't know, I already said the word funky and I was a bit uncomfortable with it. I was like, why are you saying funky, Kat? But that word is coming to mind again. I think the colours in this are just really, really fun. I love that there's some glittery bits going through it. It's, again, very lightweight, very slim, just how I like. And yeah, this is an enjoyable pen to use. So Beaux is another one that makes their own blanks, so they're always a little bit unique. You might see similar designs come up if he's kind of replicated a pattern or made more than one blank, but then he'll turn them differently, so every pen is a little bit different. And then lastly, this is probably probably my favourite one I have from him at the moment, because it's the only really rainbowy colours pen that I've got. I mean, I say that, it's not got any red in it, has it? But you know what I mean looking at it. It's got a real rainbow of colours running through it, and then these fun white splodges. And yeah, it's definitely one that is very comfortable in my hand and very pretty. And goes with my nice bright paintings. A lot of people choose their accessories to go with their painting, don't they? I don't think I've ever done that. I tend to just reach for whichever pen I fancy, but maybe I should start, because this one goes really well with a lot of the bright paintings that I'm drawn to working on. So that is Ces Plus Beaux Auteurs. Moving on, I have a pen, and I'm going to struggle to tell you where this is from because I got it on D-Stash. And I don't think that the person who sold it to me was very sure. If I'm remembering right, they said they think it's from Enabler's Outpost, but they weren't sure. And I could be misremembering that. But this, again, is a really nice, slim, small pen. You can see the theme, can't you? A lot of my pens have followed that pattern. It fits very neatly in my hand, and I do like ones that aren't too long for flipping round. And I put this away for a long time, but I got it out recently and I just really enjoyed using it again. It's got lovely polished wood up at this end, and then a very nice polish on this end as well. And I do appreciate the shops that really take the time to polish their pens well, so that they have this lovely shiny smooth feel. Not all of them do that, and it really does sort of add to the experience for me. It's a bit of a sensory experience, I guess. So yeah, really enjoy this pen. I wish I knew where it was from for sure so I could find more, because I've obviously stalked the Enabler Outpost website and they've got some gorgeous pens, but I haven't ever seen any that look like they would be this sort of weight. Another of my absolute favourites coming up. This is from La Douceur d'une Plume. I have to excuse my French accent. I did a French degree, so I kind of can't help myself. I don't mean to sound, you know, a bit show-offy, but yeah, it's not very good anymore, my accent, but I just sort of can't help it. Anyway, so this is from a Canadian shop. Now, she seems to have closed. I'm in her Facebook group and I've been stalking it for over a year now, because she had some pens that she made in like March last year that she said she was going to have up for sale soon. And then they never went on sale. So I guess life has taken over and she's just not got round to that. But it's a shame, because this is one of my favourite pens. So she is another one that does right to buy raffles, but I think this is one that no one had bought, and then I just bought it off her website, if I remember right. It's longer, but it's fine, you know. When I talk about liking shorter pens, that's just, you know, something that I enjoy some of the time. I am fine with longer pens, and it's so slim. And more to the point, it is so pretty and so well polished. You'll see the shine on that. And the colours in it are gorgeous. I don't use it terribly often because I've got one of my 6 placers on it, which I use for round kits. And I don't work on rounds that often. So I don't tend to use it that often because, yes, I am that lazy that I don't switch my placers around very often, and that will determine what pen I use. But it's an absolute keeper. I don't think I will ever get rid of this pen. I just really, really like it. I hope that she opens up again in the future because her pens are gorgeous. Next up are a couple of pens from O'Brien's Custom Turning in the US. So I got these this year. I ordered them in, I think, December, and I ordered on the sort of economy postage, which was free if you didn't mind waiting for a while. So it took about a month. And then they went via my Stackry inbox to me here because they're in the US, so it's expensive to have them shipped directly. So this one, I just think this is such a fun blank and quite different to anything else that I have. It's really, really pretty. And then this one, as a contrast, I think is very cool. It's got a lovely polish on the black section, a little rougher up here, but very, very pretty. The only thing with these pens is I asked for a slim turn, and I said, you know, I really like a slim turn. could you make them quite slim? Now, the problem with doing that when you've never ordered from a shop before is that it's really subjective. You know, I've had pens described as slim from other places that were way too chunky for me. And I should really have bought one pen, tried it, and then adjusted. So I bought them both, and they've absolutely done what I asked for. It's just I'm not used to places taking slim so literally. And if anything, they are a little bit too slender for me. They almost feel a little bit too lightweight, which is a real shame because they are gorgeous, gorgeous pens. I don't think I could bring myself to separate from this one because it is so pretty. This one, I think, I mean, I haven't got around to using it yet, so this one might be on the de-stash pile, but they are lovely pens. Oh, my washing machine's singing in the background. Hang on. I don't know if you would have been able to hear that anyway, but it annoys me. My washing machine sings this little song when it stops working, when the program stops. So yeah, I had to go stop that. So yeah, I would like to try from them again. I think I'm in a little bit of a quandary about how to order it. I'm probably going to have to send them an in-depth message saying, last time you did exactly what I asked, but actually it turned out I didn't want them quite that slim. So I'd like them a little wider, but not too wide. But they are one of the more expensive pens that I've bought, so I need to get it just right next time. But they do have some gorgeous blanks. And next up, I have two more shops worth of pens to show you. So these are one of my favourites that I've discovered more recently, I love their pens. So this is one of my two favourite shops. This is Lassen Latheworks. Let's get them in the right place, Kat. And I discovered them just browsing Etsy, getting things to my Stackry inbox in the US. The thing with a parcel forwarding service is you really want to make the most. So in some ways it can encourage you to spend more because you don't really want to be shipping an order over just with a couple of items in. You kind of want to make the most of it so that you get a few more small items in there and you're paying the same shipping, if you see what I mean. So yeah, I get a little bogged down in that mentality because, hey, any excuse, right? But yeah, these are some of the pens I've had from them. There have been a few others that I've ordered that haven't turned out quite to the right size for me, that I have de-stashed. But these ones I have kept to this point and they're really, really pretty. So they sell by two ways. There is their Etsy shop and they drop pens on there, and then I've just browsed and looked and seen if I think ones look like they might be the right shape for me, and bought accordingly. The other thing they do is drops in their Facebook group. So the guy who owns the shop, Daniel, he makes a series of blanks each week and then he puts them up. I think it's on a Sunday evening, and it's just whoever gets them first to claim the blank and then say what shape they want them turned in. So I have a mixture of those here. Actually, I think I only have one now that I had turned for me specially because the others turned out a little thicker because I wasn't clear enough about what I wanted. So that's enough rambling. Right, so this one that I just ordered off the Etsy shop is such a nice shape and white pen for me. I really enjoy this one. And I think it's really cool and different with this sort of honeycomb pattern up here. So it's a lovely purple colour, love purple, and I love the bits of wood through it as well. He is another one that does a really good job of polishing his pens and making them super smooth and shiny. And that might sound like a small thing, but I actually think for me it's one of the things that really sets shops apart and makes me inclined to buy from them again, because I think it adds a sort of luxurious touch to me. So yeah, that's something I personally really, really appreciate. So this is a gorgeous pen. This one that also came from the Etsy shop, I did use quite a lot for a while. It is a little bit chunkier than I prefer. It's not too chunky, I can use it, but I haven't tended to use it over the ones that suit me better. But it is really pretty, and you can see again, the shine on that is just spectacular. Then this one that I also picked via the Etsy shop, oh, gotta make the camera focus, I just thought was really different. All these sort of browny orange tones and then the coloured glitter through it. it is cool. It is different. I haven't seen any pens like this anywhere else. This is a nice, it's not too chunky. It is, however, very long. So I haven't used this much, and it is one I might consider destashing as a result, although I'm a bit loath to. But I have to sort of wiggle my hand up to flip it in my hand. And I know that might sound fussy, but when you're spending hours diamond painting, you want your pen to work for you, right? You want it to be completely comfortable. So it might suit someone who's got slightly larger hand than me a bit better, but it's a nice slim hold. And then this one, I think is just like quite a fun design. It goes out to quite a wide point here, but it's ever so slender in the middle. It almost feels like you could snap it. So you can sort of hold it wherever you like on that continuum to have, you know, the thickness that you prefer. Sorry, had to have a little nose blowing break there. Another cold seems to be incoming. So yes, it's got gorgeous colours. I mean, this sort of minty green blue, I'm not even sure what to call it, but it is gorgeous. I can never go wrong with purple, and yeah, it's really, really pretty. This one that I picked up on the shop is one of my favourite pens I have ever had. Love the colours, exactly like I just said, with that like pale ice blue sort of colour. Love the pink shade as well and the glitter. I love the little bit of each opposing colour at the ends. And more to the point, it is so comfortable. It's sort of like the perfect pen hold for me. And this was the pen that I then tried to replicate a couple of times when I managed to buy a blank, and then it didn't turn out quite the same because I think I wasn't being clear enough about how wide this would come out, because obviously he'd turn them all, but he's not turning them all exactly the same every time. So, so yeah, I wanted all of the pens like this at that point. It is so pretty. Definitely a pen I will always be keeping. And then this one is the one that I finally managed to get turned after managing to be quick enough to get a blank. That is the right thickness and weight. And how pretty is this? I think it's struggling to even be picked up in the camera. It almost looks a bit too one-dimensional and blue in the camera, but in person there's all these little hints and sparkles of pink running through it as well. It's a real sort of mixture. And then you've got this lovely paler bit here. And it is such a nice, comfortable weight. I really enjoy it. It's a little bit longer, but not too long. And yeah, very much enjoy this pen. So, Lassen or Lassen, I'm not sure how to pronounce it, Latheworks, over in California. I use my Stackry inbox to buy them because then it's quite cheap to get them to my Stackry inbox, and they're just a small item in a bigger parcel. But he does ship directly to the UK. Obviously, that's a pricier option. But they're quite reasonably priced. So if you order to an inbox like Stackry, because it goes to a no sales tax state in the US, you don't pay any US sales tax. You don't pay VAT on it because Etsy deducts that automatically. So they work out, I think it's about £25 each. And then obviously the onward shipping, but like I say, I'm generally trying to offset that by including them with other items. So they are one of the more reasonably priced options that I have found within the US for the quality. So yeah. And then last up, and I feel like I have whittled on for longer than I thought I would, so apologies if this video is now going on for a little while, but I'm now on to my current favourite shop. And anyone who's watched any of my small shop haul sort of unboxing videos will probably know exactly what's coming. It is my Norse Alchemist collection. And these babies are stunning. Oh, I've done it again. I just cannot work out where my camera is pointing on the table because I'm not used to it being so zoomed in. So I have a friend who got me onto these. I'd always kind of been aware of Norse Alchemist, but I'd looked them up in the past and deemed them too expensive. And then a friend ordered one and hers came and I was like, well, hang on a second. That's a little bit fabulous. And they are a more expensive option. They do work out probably around £45, I believe. And then shipping, but shipping is actually very reasonable because they come from, is it Denmark? I think it's Denmark, and it's something like £6 for track shipping, so like that bit is fine. And yeah, an obsession was born. I blame her unreservedly. She definitely made me buy all of these pens and the one that's on the way. But no, they are gorgeous, and I do use these more than any others. And considering I've spent the whole of the rest of the video talking about how I like petite pens, you might be wondering how I am advocating for these pens that look so much chunkier. And I don't know what it is, but I find these really comfortable. So he like, when you choose a turning style, you basically order by number of bumps. So the first one I had from him was called a 6-bump pen, and then it was like, you know, there were 2 versions or something. So I ordered like a 6-bump version 2 or whatever it might have been. And the bumps do go out to quite a wide point, but it comes in at the narrower points to a really comfortable hold. So just if I compare it to another pen that I've said I find really comfortable, you can see that's pretty similar. And I have found that to be a really good combination, whereas the pens that are uncomfortable for me never go into this narrow of a point. So Norse Alchemist, he makes his own blanks. They are absolutely stunning. He uses a lot of clear resin, which is something you'll see in this one, and something not so many other places do. And then he will fill it with bits of fabric and flowers and like silver leaf, gold leaf, all sorts of things, and they are so stunning and unique. And you know what I was saying before about the polish, like you can see how much this shines. They are so smooth and gorgeous. So this is the first one I had, and it's still one of my favorites. I do really enjoy this shape. Next up, I tried a 5-bump, and this one, it's hard to show you this bit. There's a lot of clear resin in there, and then this sort of black gauzy fabric, and then a pink gauzy fabric and some silver leaf up at this end. This one does go out to a wider point than the bumps. There's a little bit of inconsistency there. So I don't find this one maybe as comfortable as some, but nah, what am I saying? Actually, that's a really nice comfy pen. I don't know why I don't use it as much as some of the others. Maybe I find it very, very pretty, but you know, some of the others maybe just appeal to me a little bit more. I do love that pen. This pen is having its last day with me. It's going to a new home tomorrow. I do still like this pen a lot, but I needed to make room for more pens. I've got a new one coming from him, and I have a friend who has recently discovered Norse Alchemist and is a little bit obsessed with them. You know who you are. And she has bought this one off me because as much as I still like it, she loves it just that bit more. So it is going to a new home with her to increase her collection. And it's really pretty. I think I bought this one in about November as a sort of Christmassy colour pen, and it definitely did the job for that through Christmas. This 4-bump style is also very nice and comfortable. Not my absolute favourite from him, but it is comfortable, and it really shows the blanks well because you get a lot of them in these sections. Next up was, well, this one's very special because this was actually a Christmas present from the friend that got me into Norse Alchemist pens. Some might say she owed me, not me. No, it was such an incredibly generous, lovely present. I was so chuffed. She's naughty, really. She shouldn't have, but yeah, isn't it beautiful? It's hard to show you actually because it's got a lot of clear and then it's got pink things in. So if I hold it against my hand, my pink hand, you're not going to see the best of it. So let me try and turn it like this. Isn't it gorgeous? All those lovely delicate bits in it. I wonder, I suppose these are just flowers, aren't they? Flowers and feathers in this one. So yeah, this one is an absolute favourite, both because it's pretty and gorgeous, but also because of the sentimental reasons for how I got it. Next up is, I think, this one, and this one was one that he had actually already turned. So around November last year, he moved away from having so many blanks that you could choose how to have turned and started to sell more ready-made ones. Now, the only downside to that for me, well, upside if you consider my bank balance, but he does tend to turn them in a medium turn because that's what sells best for him, which is absolutely fair enough. But I do stalk the website regularly, and occasionally there will be a thin turn, and I jumped on this one because I thought it was really pretty. And this is one of my most comfortable shapes from him. So I guess this is a 5 bump, but a different kind of 5 bump to my initial one. And yeah, it's really, really nice in my hand. I enjoy this one a lot, as I do this one, which I guess is the same as this. Yeah. And this is another one that was just on the website, and it actually sat there for a while, and I think he's really, really good at taking photos of his blanks, but this is one where actually the photo didn't do it justice, because it didn't get bought for a while, and then after going back and staring at it a few times, I was like, oh well, fine. Fine, I will buy it then. And I did, and it's gorgeous. This is one of my favourite pens. I love it, and actually it's really nice to have different style pens in my favourite turning style. And whilst I absolutely love all the flowers and fabricy bits, this one's a bit different. It's quite cool having sort of solid resin colours, and yeah, really enjoy it. The new pen that I've got coming, I actually couldn't even decide how to have it turned between these two. I've got another 6 bump one that I'm having off a friend actually. So I didn't want that, and I said to him, I sent him a picture of these two and said, can you turn it in whichever of these styles you think will do the blank the most justice? So it will be exciting to see what comes. And then I have this one. So he started to bring out more with wood in them, and I had to jump on that. So this one has got beautiful polished wood, and then so many delicate, pretty flowers and feathery things in this bit. I don't know, I think it might all actually be plants and things, and then some silver leaf. I'm not sure, but he has packed this one full of stuff, and it's really pretty. I think the colour scheme's gorgeous. So this one is absolutely beautiful. Because I do have a preference for not having too much clear resin showing. So this is my most recent one that I bought, and I unboxed this in a small shop showcase. And I said at the time, it was not a reflection on how it had been turned at all. I'd obviously just chosen a blank that didn't suit me, because you're looking at a picture online, and however well the person manages to photograph it, it's not the same as in person. And I hadn't realised maybe quite how much clear resin there was in this one. And when it came, obviously a lot of the more coloured bits had been cut away, I suppose, because of that. So I just mentioned that, you know, it was a beautiful pen, but it wasn't my favourite. And then Jonas, sorry, I had to check because like my mind had gone blank and I couldn't remember his name. Jonas, the guy behind Norse Alchemist, reached out to me on Messenger and said that someone had sent him my video, and he was really sorry that I was disappointed with the pen, and you know, what could he do to make it right? And I was a little bit mortified, I've got to be honest, because I had not meant to be negative or complain about the pen. I really saw it more as my fault for not choosing a blank well. Sometimes when, you know, they get uploaded and you're kind of scrambling to grab one because you know other people will be getting them quickly as well, like mistakes happen. And I said as much and said, you know, it's absolutely fine. It's not my favourite of the pens that I have from you, but you know, it's not a reflection on you. Anyway, he insisted on giving me a discount code, which I used on my latest pen, after saying, you know, he really, really didn't have to, but he insisted. So I just wanted to insert that little story in here to say he's a really nice guy. And, you know, that is part of what I really enjoy when I'm purchasing from small shops, is the personal touch, is you know, the real people behind them and people caring about giving good customer service. You know, that matters to me. I really, really appreciate it. So even the pen that I don't personally love as much has a happy story attached to it. So yeah, that is all of my pens. And I seem to remember at the start of this video saying it wouldn't be a long one. And then I seem to have witted on for what I think is probably quite a long time now. So apologies for that. I think if you are a watcher of my channel, You will know that I tend to waffle on a bit and I don't make the most concise videos, so hopefully that's okay with you. But yeah, it's a good thing I don't have a bigger pen collection, or we'd be here all day. But yeah, hope you've enjoyed taking a look through these with me. It's useful for me to have them all out and pick some that I know realistically I need to let go of, and I will be doing that. But yeah, it's nice to see them all. So thank you very much for watching. If you have enjoyed this video, please consider dropping a like on it. And if you are not already subscribed to the channel and you've liked what I've done here, please consider doing that too. And I will hopefully see you again soon. Bye bye.